What's up? I think it's time to speak about some Christian values, y'all. Kia ora, it's Lofa. What's up, everybody? To the new members of the Rich Keeses community, thank you for subscribing and liking. Thank you for sharing the love. If you're getting something out of these videos, please subscribe. Love your support. So today we are talking about Christian values. So what makes youth group different from a self-help group or a personal development group is that we talk about Jesus and we allow young people to meet Jesus through running youth groups. So I just want you to imagine for a second, youth group is like having a pie. So you might think of a Villiers pie, a 7-Eleven pie. If you're in New Zealand, you think of a Dorothy pie, but I'm going to think of Big Ben pie. Best pie I ever had. When we run our games, when we have our community, that's like the pastry of the pie. The pastry is nice. But it's when you bite into that pastry, you find something more deeper. For the pie, it's meat. And the meat of the pie is Christian values and getting to know who Jesus is. Now, I know some of us here are vegans and vegetarians. Olivia, just imagine it's like a vegan pie. When we look at Christian values, I can share a personal story about it. So earlier in my childhood, when I went to church, it didn't really make sense. And I found it boring and I left the church for quite a while. Now, it wasn't until I was in year 10, my cousin Victor came up to me and he invited me to come to youth group. And at the youth group, we used to play touch in the beginning. We used to have fish and chips, praise and worship. But the one takeaway I got out of youth group was that I got to meet Jesus. I got to find out who he was and I got to have a personal relationship with him. So I still remember the first topic that we covered when I was in youth group, and it was called The Greatest Love Story Ever Told. So basically it was the passion, the death and resurrection of Jesus and why Jesus had died for me. And for the first time in my life, I had this relationship with Jesus. And because of going to youth group, I wanted to go to Mass to learn more about God. Help me to grow in my faith. And this is the reason why I'm still Youth Ministry Coordinator today. Now, just a couple of tips on how to incorporate Christian values into your youth group. So the first and most important is the youth group has to be about Jesus. Now, it's nice having games and community, that's all good. But there's no point if Jesus is not involved in that experience. Now, the advantage of youth group is that we are able to talk about the scriptures in a relatable way where young people can comprehend and understand what's happening. In order for youth group to be a youth group, you have to have Jesus involved. Now, for a lot of people, it can be difficult to talk about Jesus. Sometimes you need a bit of knowledge. You're still new to your faith. So there's a lot of great curriculum and resources that you can use. There's Life Teen, there's Alpha, there's Grow stuff you can use, or you can create your own curriculum. One of my goals for starting this channel is hopefully to make a curriculum for those who live in New Zealand, Australia, and Oceania. Something for this side of the world. So stay in touch. But look, curriculum is very important. Now that curriculum has to incorporate scripture, which leads to my next point. Now, with whatever curriculum we're using, we have to make sure it's relatable to our youth group audience. As many people may know, Christian concepts and ideas are very difficult to comprehend. Now, one example I'd love to point out is the Life Team group in Castle Hill. So once a year, what they do is they use a movie as a theme and they link it with Christian values and ideas. What we're going to try this year in our youth group is we're looking at the movie The Lion King, and we're linking The Lion King to the different sacraments of the church. I'm also a catechist teacher, and in many of my classes, many of the kids don't go to church or they've never read a Bible in their lives. So our responsibility, our duty as catechists is we have to make the gospel relatable to the people that we're looking after. Now, another important tip is you can also find great guest speakers who speak about Christian values. So, you have people like Nat and YMT who are everyday missionaries living out that gospel. We also have Simon Carrington from Fire Up Ministries who talks about the theology of the body and the importance of chastity in today's world. We also have pro-life groups and whatnot. So there's many different resources out there. I'll put those in the links. I guess in terms of relating this topic to scripture, You know, many people would criticize us and say, oh, are you making the gospel lukewarm or are you watering it down? Well, if we're being honest, we're just following Jesus' example. As we can see in scripture, Jesus used the parables quite often to help make Christian values relatable to the people of his time. Question I'd like to ask you guys is, what resources do you use for your youth group? You know, what other ways do you incorporate Christian values into your youth group? So, hey, please write a comment, share your views. If you have any questions, please throw some questions out there. Come and join me next time, and we're going to talk about the importance of delegation. All right, God bless you. Peace.